This quarantine hair is getting ridiculous. Can we just do this for now? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I am coming clean about something. First of all, I got my cleaning cloth right here. Let's just collect them all. Let's just collect everything that is going on here so we can have a discussion about it. Okay, so you know. I didn't feel like disconnecting it. And the thing is, you know, like if you've seen tech YouTube, you know that that is not even a lot. That being said, I know that that is a lot for one person. So today in this video, I'm gonna be giving some advice, really advice to myself, but advice to anyone who is struggling with having too much technology. If you think this is a joke, it is. But at the same time, I feel like the life that we're living in, you know, it's very common to have, you know, at least more than one device. Maybe you have like a phone and a laptop, maybe some smart home stuff. And it just becomes a lot to manage, and also like can become a little counterproductive when these things are supposed to be tools that can help us, yet you just have stuff spread across all of them. So I thought, why not sit here while I clean all of this stuff and discuss some strategies in terms of how to deal with this so it does not become a mess. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was actually having multiple devices. Like how do you deal with that? I think the first thing is to like try not to do that. Like try not to just like be out here all like this and all like this. But at least for me, like half of this stuff is for work and I can't really control it. They're actually not my devices, but they are in my life, therefore they are part of the equation. But I'll just talk about, you know, some things that maybe can be controlled or that I have learned. I think the first one is that like, I don't want to say you don't need a tablet, but I feel like I don't need a tablet as I'm sitting here with two of them. There was a time when I got this iPad and this Mac because it felt like a MacBook was too much of like a compromise between the two and also like very expensive compared to just getting these two separate things. But I think when it's time to replace those, I will probably just get a MacBook, especially because the M1 processor is very good now, but that is neither here nor there. And ideally, I'm hoping that every time a device leaves my life that I may not need to introduce a new replacement for, especially because like at one point when it was just a laptop and a phone, it was like, okay, like, yeah, there's like a certain, you know, you can upgrade this stuff like every couple of years, but how am I supposed to upgrade all this? Like, how am I actually supposed to keep all of this up to date in the long term, especially when it's like this stuff is like begging to be replaced at least like probably every 3 years now you could get away with, but still like that could be kind of stretching it. You know, it's like there's so many gadgets to have, there's so much Black Friday and Boxing Daying going on. Obviously it's not necessary to do that, but like really think like if you need to have a phone and a tablet and a laptop and, you know, a smart home hub that's basically just a tablet on a stand. I don't have one of those, but I've been tempted. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted. So yeah, there's not much more to say about that. The next thing is when it comes to apps and services that you use across these devices. Of course, there is an ever-growing number of apps and services to use, whether it's like for productivity, entertainment, just generally making your life easier. There's just so much that you can choose from. And what I find is that I think in the past, I'd always be really tempted to like find the best tool for the job. Like maybe I would use like Microsoft Office for some things and I would use Google Docs for other things, so on and so forth. But what I found is it just becomes too much to manage, and then you have your information across all these services and you're trying to like spend time trying to figure out like what the best tool to use is instead of just sticking with fewer. It's just there's so many that I think the disorganization that comes with having your stuff across different software makes things less organized, and then depending on like the longevity of that app or that software, whatever you have stored in there, like what do you do when it inevitably gets discontinued? How do you recover and move on from that? I feel like this also works with social media too. Like, is there really a need to have Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok? Well, I guess TikTok is kind of separate, but like when it comes to communicating with your friends or with my friends, I just found that there was a lot of redundant stuff going on across all of these different social media. So I just tried to prune it down to the ones that I'm using. I don't know if this is just like common sense, but it's just an intervention that I needed a while ago. It's still an ongoing process. So now when it comes to apps and software, like what are the rules for introducing one of those into like, also I'm done cleaning these now. I'm just cleaning the boxes for some reason. It's important to be really selective about what you let in, because like every new app you sign up for, every new software you sign up for, that's personal information that you're giving to them. That's a privacy policy that you're agreeing to that I don't know about you, but I usually don't have time to read and really weigh out the pros and cons. That's a new email you're gonna have to unsubscribe to. That's a new set of notifications that you're gonna have to turn off, like just for signing up for one thing. And every day there's like, I don't know, 40 things in your ads like telling you to sign up for it. That's just the name of the game. That's just, I know I sound ridiculous right now, but you know that that's just the name of the game. And it's worth periodically going in and just deleting your accounts for all the things that you don't really need. Like give it a good Marie Kondo and ask yourself if this is actually sparking like immense amounts of joy and adding immense amounts of value to your life. And like, are you seriously gonna miss out on something by like not using Snapchat anymore and just sticking with Instagram, for example? You're probably like, I'm already doing this, and hence why maybe you don't have this issue or this issue or this issue. I'm being dramatic, like literally half of these are for work, they're not even mine, but they're all in my life. It all feels the same. Realistically, I've probably just been in here in quarantine for too long, and the concentration of devices is getting to me, but it just feels relevant to discuss this. Now, let's say that you have done all these steps so far. You've reduced the number of devices. Let's say you have deleted some app, deleted your accounts for some different services, social media, what have you. Once you've done that, like what is there left to do? I think the next thing has to do with refining the inputs. I don't know if that's the right word. Basically just kind of like reducing what's in each of those apps. And I think that social media is a really good example for that. Like go through your social media services, unfollow anything that is not something that you would genuinely really not want to miss, as opposed to the stuff that's just kind of entertaining, you know, the memey stuff. Because the thing is, if you're not following those accounts, you can always go and check in with them whenever you want. Do you really need them to be in your feed taking your time every day? Realistically, when you open those apps, the algorithm is gonna show you the stuff that is going to be the most relevant content for you, or what it thinks is going to be the most relevant content for you within the first few posts or tweets or whatever it is that you're seeing. I feel like it's fair to assume that the more you scroll, the less relevant the content's going to be, the more stuff that you're going to realistically be okay with missing. Which is why now that I've just restricted who I'm following to those things that I really don't want to miss, I find that I can just open those apps, scroll through the first few things, and then be done with it. All right, what else was I going to talk about? I feel like I had thoughts, and now this is just becoming a mess. Well, it's been a mess this entire time. I think the last thing, and maybe the most important thing for when it comes to managing all the devices and all the apps that's in your life, is to try to keep things as consistent across devices and across services as you can. So if you're able to opt for options that work seamlessly across all the platforms that you use, things that have cloud integration, once you move things onto the cloud and stop like focusing on how much storage your device has, like for example, if I'm going with like an iPad, is this an iPad? A phone, a tablet, a desktop computer. When you buy each of these devices, it gets pretty pricey the more storage that you add to them. If you spend more for extra storage, then you don't have to pay for cloud services like Google Drive or Dropbox or iCloud to store your information. And also you just may be more comfortable with having it stored locally. But then realistically, when it comes to backing things up, then you're getting external hard drives. And then if, God forbid, all your stuff gets destroyed in some kind of emergency, then your stuff is lost. So it's useful to have like an offsite backup anyway. And what I've found is that, you know, yes, it costs like anywhere between $5 to $15 a month to pay for cloud storage. Once you do that, all of your documents, all of your photos, you know, anything that can be synced on the cloud is going to be present in the exact same way across all of your devices. And then also when it comes to buying devices, you don't have to worry about running out of storage on things. You can buy like the base model of your phone, your tablet, your computer, etc. Because, oh my God, I have a foot cramp. Why is my foot cramping all of a sudden? Oh my God, I Someone's gonna sell that footage of my foot. As you can see, of course, I use all Apple devices, but the same kind of features exist on Android and on Windows, where you can opt to not have the full copies of your documents and your photos saved locally on the device, which is why you can get away with having the base storage of everything. And then just as you need certain documents or photos or even apps, they'll download and offload automatically based on whatever storage you have available. I remember when I first started doing this, it was kind of scary because I was worried that if I put everything in the cloud, especially in iCloud at the time, she was not very reliable. I was worried that I just might never see this stuff again. But now realistically, I've been doing this for a few years. iCloud is rock solid, especially the Google services and Microsoft are rock solid. I think the odds of like me losing my device or it getting destroyed in some kind of accident are much higher than something going wrong on the cloud server. Not only is it convenient, but it also kind of acts like a sense of insurance in a way. Like it's kind of like insurance that basically nothing will happen to your files and your information if something happens to one of your devices. I don't know if this video was coherent. I don't know if this video was helpful for you. Like I said, I think this is more advice that I need to follow than anyone else. Maybe don't let it get to this point, but I think to an extent, it gets less and less avoidable in the society that we live in. I would love to hear if you relate to any of this, if you have come up with any strategies, whether it's devices or apps or services. I feel like anyone who uses the internet might feel a sense of things piling up and things becoming a little bit too much and difficult to manage. So hopefully that helped. If it didn't help, hopefully you enjoyed some inspiration from this new quarantine hairdo that I got. I didn't think I was gonna like this, but like I might actually just keep this like this for a minute. Like this is a whole look going on. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would love if you subscribe to my channel. If you were wondering why you should subscribe to my channel, I would be wondering the same thing, to be honest, but that is neither here nor there. Hope that you are doing well and stay safe. Another example would be, like, I feel like this is a good example. You don't need to have like the best iPad PDF reader and then the best iPhone PDF reader separate and then the best like Windows PDF reader and then the best PDF reader for Mac. Like it's not necessary.